We'll just quickly check. So I'm going to repeat what we are doing on Telegram right now. I've requested everyone to share what is the one thing or several things that you want to see a change in. Yeah. Or what's, is there something that you would really like right now to happen in your life?
Okay.
Share with us on the Telegram group. The team has very sweetly and very helpfully also shared some templates. So, for example, I think we have one that says, I want more of dash, dash, dash. So you can do a fill in the blanks, or you can simply say, what's the one thing, or what you can say a couple of things, as I said. I'll give you an example for myself. So there's this lovely little house in Goa because I'm thinking about moving to Goa. And there's this lovely little house, but it's a little outside my budget. And I would like the landlord to agree to the offer that I've made. Yeah. So it could be something simple and immediate that you are looking for right now, or it could be something bigger. So the bigger thing that I'm looking for example, is I want to finally not be afraid of finances. I want to not have fears around finances. Yeah. So these are a couple of things that I would put put out there.
If I may say, they're pretty easy peasy ones.
Oh really? Oh my gosh.
Seriously.
So I can't wait to know, Smriti, what you do to make such things happen.
These are the easiest of us.
I have struggled with the fear around finances, by the way. That has been a major struggle. So for me, that's the bigger ask. The Goa house, तो कर लेंगे किसी तरीके से फिर भी. But
It's a very easy one.
yeah, fantastic.
Yeah.
I love it when problems look easy to solve.
You
Okay.
know, I used to be somebody who dreaded finances, looking at finances.
Really?
I used to dread my chartered accountant's call.
Yeah,
You know
me
that
too.
year end when you have to file
Yeah,
taxes,
yeah.
or if a sales tax guy showed up at my shop, like
Mm,
I would go all palpitating.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. That's exactly me.
So I've been there, but I also know it's really very easy to change if you know how.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I can't wait to find out. Okay, we're going to start in a minute or so. I'm seeing some lovely expressions of what people would like in their life. The
I'd like to
more
hear them.
specific,
I'm not watching the chat, so
yeah,
I
yeah,
would love
don't.
to hear them.
I'll raise them. Yeah, yeah, I'll raise them. The more specific you are, the more wonderful it'll be to talk about it. Yeah. So like I said, like I want this little house and it's like a house that I'm going to rent. It's not even a house that I'm planning to buy. um, but I'd like to live there for a couple of years. And so it would be, how fantastic will it be if she agrees to what I've offered?
Possible. I have my friend. I have a very dear friend, and she also works with me. And there was this house in south of Mumbai, just by the ocean, that she was eyeing for the longest of time. Okay,
Oh,
and she would say, "Oh, it's beyond my budget. It's beyond my reach." And I said, "Listen, that's all rubbish." And I gave her a few tools and tips. And a few months ago, she was offered that apartment by the beach. I mean, by the sea. It's not a beach, but it's by the ocean, and at the price that she was asking for, like she
wow.
wanted it at. And then she said, what will it take for her to renew? I mean, the landlady to kind of extend it for a longer period. And last week it got extended at the same price.
Oh, wow. Oh, that is so nice. That is sweet.
These are not difficult things at all.
Yeah, I'm so glad.
Yeah.
I'm so glad I don't have a hugely difficult problem to solve. Okay, I'm just going to start in a minute. So give me a second. Actually, give me 20 seconds. We'll just get things set up here. I can see some beautiful things that people have expressed.
Nice. I'm looking forward.
Okay. So we've got things like, for example, Darpana says, I soon want to become a mother-in-law and a grandparent. Smriti, move your magic wand.
I would like to say you cannot violate somebody else's choice. But yeah,
Like
what would
that.
it take?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sonal says, unlimited abundance of health, wealth, and happiness. Shobha says, I need good vibrations to work for the sick. Vanita Shri says, I'm looking for settlement of my Basweshwar Nagar plot. Okay, that's really good. That's specific. You have a really specific goal in your mind. Santini says, I'm looking for a home loan that allows me to buy the house I want and furnish it to my liking without a punishing EMI schedule. I can understand that totally, Shantini. Monica says, I would like to pay off my debt and buy a beautiful house and start my own business. Yes to that, Monica. Neelam says, I'm looking for a space of more possibilities from where I can start choosing beyond all limitations, barriers, and points of views. More money, more abundance, more ease, more joy. That's beautiful. Thank you so much, Neelam. So everyone, I'm so glad that like people have put out these things, and we're going to talk about how Smriti, our amazing Smriti, is going to share with us the tools to make these things happen for you. Yeah, she's an incredible. She's a woman with an incredible journey and an amazing story. She did her MBA in investment and retail banking. So I'm quite surprised, Smriti, that you said that you were scared of finances. And
Can I
she
let
went,
you in on a secret?
yeah, of course.
So in the second year, we choose our specialization, and I chose finance. And my
How?
marketing professor called me to his room right away. He
How?
said, I heard you've chosen finance. What's wrong with you? You're a sales and marketing person. And
Hmm.
he knew that I can't do 2+2, right? So he said, what's
Hmm.
wrong with you? I said, you know what, sir? I love sales marketing. It comes naturally to me.
Uh,
And I will read books on it on my own accord. But
hmm.
finance, I'm scared of. So if I choose this,
Hmm.
I will be forced to study something about it.
Hmm.
And so I have chosen finance because it's a subject that scares me completely. So
Hmm.
he said, it's a very weird logic, but it's a logic. I said, I want to educate myself in finances, and this is the only way I see that I'll do this. So that's the reason why I've chosen finance. He said, okay, you have my blessings. Very weird, but go ahead. So that's me. That's me.
That's
I
fabulous.
face my fear head on.
That's fabulous. That's really fabulous. And so I know that you had like a major event in your life that changed things for you, and you became a life transformation facilitator. I just want to share with everyone that Smriti actually is trained in multiple modalities, but she's an exceptional and certified facilitator in access consciousness and life key systems. So, Smriti, big welcome to the Mystic Lotus Awesome Women's Tele Summit. So lovely to have you here.
Thank you so much for having me here, for inviting me. I am so grateful to be here, and I'm truly grateful for all the people who've joined in today to be with us today. And thank you for your time. And I am so grateful that you are here. And may this call contribute to you something that you have been looking for and more. So thank you very much for having me here.
Thanks. So, Smriti, you have an extraordinary story, and I'd love for you to share that with everyone.
So yes, thank you so much for that. My story is I had a very difficult childhood. As I grew up, I was at the age of 10. I don't want to use the word left in the boarding school anymore, which is what I used to say. But yeah, I was admitted into a boarding school because my parents lived in a very small village, which didn't have good education system. So I started studying in a boarding school, and it was like a completely different environment for me, something that I was not really prepared for. And I went through some series of stuff which kind of broke me, so to say. And at the age of 14, I think was the first time I tried to commit suicide, but for some reason I didn't jump. And I thought I was a coward, and so I didn't. But in hindsight, I can say that, my guardian angels were just guided me down from the building, and I continued to live on. But I lived as a very bitter person and very angry person, and not knowing that how we be within us is what we create outside of us. So I kept creating a lot of tough stuff, so to say, and went through some very nasty relationships, many in fact nasty relationships. And then there came up, and then of course I went and did my studies. I got my MBA degree, etc., etc. And then there came a time when I was at loggerheads at home, and I was told my way or the highway. So I was on the highway, literally, because I am also somebody who knows what I want, and I go for it. So, and I don't mind paying whatever price I have to pay for it. So I'm willing to do what it takes. So that's just me. And so I took the highway. I had no money, no job. Because I had quit my banking job a little while ago because of certain personal pressures. So suddenly here I was, and no money, no roof over my head, and I had some shares from my working days. I lodged them with a broker. I borrowed 2 lakhs of rupees, rented an apartment, and I started my life. And I looked for some work, and I said, I'm not going to go back to a job again. I want to be my own boss, even if I earn less, but I'm going to be my own boss, because I didn't like what I had seen in the corporate circle. So I was offered a relocation assignment for a foreign company, which was moving into India. And I became a relocation consultant. And I was relocating expats into India. And then I started also then enabling the Indian clients with finding apartments, offices, etc. And my business grew. And suddenly I came to a point where I had 2 apartments of my own. I was financially very established. And now it was time for me to, indulge the creative aspect of me. So I went and studied jewelry designing, and I became a jewelry designer. So simultaneously, I started it as a hobby, but it became a business, and I went on to have a little store, and suddenly I was supplying to 17 stores. So I was running 2 businesses simultaneously. But yet the emotional part of me was not okay all through this while. And then in 2003, my mom, who was very critical and sick with cancer, that was the time around when I got introduced to Nichiren Daishonen's Buddhism. And so it was about almost 17 years ago when I really started studying life changing principles. And her life got extended by 6 months, and I studied deep and hard, and I sought answers to life and death. And then 6 months later, when she passed away, there had emerged in me a sense of self, a sense of courage, and maybe I had just about begun to understand how life functions. And then cut to 2012, I was diagnosed with breast cancer. And suddenly I was in a different situation altogether. It's something that happens to others, and I had seen it happen to my mom, but you don't think it's going to happen to you. And suddenly it's right here. And so somebody suggested that I meet this alternate healer and take some sessions, and I went for it. And that's when another dimension of life opened up to me as to how we create diseases in our bodies, how we create illness, how we create imbalances. I wish somebody had taught me all these things when I was in school. I would not have, done many things or been a certain way, that angry, hurt kind of a person all these years. But anyway, here I was with the situation, and I started signing up for lots of different kinds of courses. And I ended up learning many, many healing modalities. And I realized that this is what I'd like to facilitate in the world. This awareness, which was not available to me as a child, and I wish it was. So I went on to get myself licensed and became a facilitator with Access Consciousness. And I started facilitating Access Consciousness workshops. And then in 2018, so I became all right within like few months. I was fine. But then in 2018, I was told that I had cancer, all over my stomach, and I had to undergo a massive surgery where they had to remove some 5 organs. And again, I faced it with a lot of courage, and I was very happy, and it didn't faze me. And I was like, I had recovered. Within 5 months, I was traveling in Paris and south of France and all of that. And then in December 2018, we discovered that it had spread into my lungs. And it had become a 4th stage cancer situation, and there was really no hope for me. So last year, if you had met me in May or June, I couldn't have told you whether I'd be alive the next day or next month. I had no idea. So, the thing was that, again, I knew, having studied so many things over so many years, I knew that everything is what we create in life is dependent on our choice. And we do have a choice. And I chose to exercise it. And I looked at what it was that was creating the death in my body. And I got to the bottom of it using all the tools that I have been teaching all these years and applying to my own life to change my life. And in August, after all my 8 chemo cycles were over, in fact, in the middle of my 7th chemo cycle, I went for a training in Paris, and I went to Italy and took, with my husband and my daughter, and we had a beautiful holiday as well, even though, I would be in like pain sometimes, but we did it. And I came back into my last cycle of chemo, and at the end of it, I was told that there is no activity at all in my body and I'm completely fine. And everybody was like amazed, surprised, and I wasn't. I knew that I had made some very tough choices, and I had done everything that I could to be congruent with what I had chosen, and I had changed it. So, but I cannot deny that there's always the grace of God, without which, you can't move forward. So I received that grace, and I changed it. So today, I can say with great amount of gratitude that I have changed every area of my life. I'm financially abundant. I love the freedom of treating my loved ones with whatever I want to treat them with, or, doing things that I'd like to do. I'm not a billionaire or a trillionaire. I would love to be there. I aim to be there. But at the moment, I have come a long way from that time when I had no money in my pocket and no roof over my head. So I enjoy great financial abundance, and I have beautiful relationships. I'm loved, I'm adored, I'm pampered, I'm respected, and I have a healthy body, right? So in fact, I just had my tests last week because I do a 6-monthly review, and my doctor was very happy. My oncologist was very happy. He says, your blood work and your scans, everything is fantastic. Just keep doing what you're doing.
How fantastic. How absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, so that's really my story in short. I am in love with my life. I love my life.
So Smriti, you've really practiced on yourself the tools that you're teaching today on in your program.
Absolutely. I walk my talk.
What for you in your, and you, I know you've worked with hundreds of clients using the sort of these tools and techniques.
Thousands, actually.
Thousands. And you've been able to bring change in their life. Tell me something. What what are the first questions you bring up or you ask? What is the first step in the process?
The first step is always to assess where you are right now and where you would like to be. So if I had to ask you the first question I would ask you is, what would you really like your life to be like? That's where you
Okay.
begin from. And
That's a
then
hard
you,
question, actually, no, to answer.
surprisingly, yes, it shouldn't be, but
Yeah.
actually it is. So if you ask, what would you like your life to be like? The general answers you will get is, I would like to be abundant. I would like to be happy. I would like to have great
Yeah.
relationships. I would like to have
Yeah.
a healthy body. But actually, that's very generalized way of saying what you'd really like your life to be
Hmm.
like. When I ask you, what would you really like your life to be like? I take you down to the nitty gritty, down to the last detail,
Okay.
because it's like, in fact, the other day I was being interviewed in another show and I talked about it. It's like if you go to the vegetable market, and I mean, all women do that, and this is a women's show, so I'll just go with that example. So if you go to a vegetable market, tell this vendor, give me some vegetables. He'll say, what vegetables do I give you? So you have to be very specific with what you want from the vendor. And similarly, universe is like a super supermarket. Okay, with everything that you could ask for is available. There's nothing that's not available. So if you are not very clear with what exactly you're asking for, and you say, oh, I'd like abundance,
Hmm.
sure, you can have abundance, but you can have abundance of the negative stuff. It's not just abundance is not just positive, or it's not something
Ah,
that is
okay.
positive or negative. Abundance is abundance. You can have abundance of problems and you can have abundance of wonderful things.
Hmm.
Okay, but
Hmm. True.
what kind of abundance you will enjoy will depend on how you are functioning, how you're thinking, what you're saying, what you're doing, right? So I
Yeah.
ask, what would you like your life to be like? And with questions, more questions, I enable you to get very clear about what would you really like.
Hmm.
Okay.
That's interesting. That's interesting. Smriti, I have to read a couple of comments from our participants. Nidhu says, move to tears. She says, I've known Smriti for years and years, and she has never not once been anything but positive and smiling. And then has obviously upped her game. And
Totally.
talk about walking your talk and talking your walk. Vandana says, such a strong woman. Hats off to you, Smriti. Um, Monica says, wow, amazing. What a fighter, Smriti, amazing. So lots and lots of responses on your story, on your experience as well.
Thank you so much.
This is incredible work to, I think, incredible as a process to go through as well. Is it a hard process to go through, Smriti? This
Uh,
discovery of what you want in life? What enables you to find out what you want in life, really?
I think you've got to look at what are you not happy with. That gives
Okay.
you clues as to
Okay.
what you would really like. And then
Hmm.
you have to look at your longings. So there's something that I have trained for very recently with a very renowned international coach called Mary Morrissey with her
Hmm.
Brave Thinking Institute. And I facilitate a program called Dream Builder. And the place we begin from is to look at your longing
Okay.
and your discontent. What are you not happy with gives
Hmm.
you a hint of what you would really like.
Okay.
Okay, so let's say you're not happy with the weight that you are.
Hmm.
Then
Yeah.
you would like, okay, so if you're not happy with this weight, what kind of a weight would you really like? What is the weight that your body would feel light at?
Hmm.
Okay, and you by and large have an idea at what weight would I really feel light at. Okay,
Hmm.
so one is looking at the discontent and then see what is the opposite of that you would desire. And the other is just a longing. Like, we have a longing to travel. We have a longing to have that kind of a communication, which is bubbly, full of respect, nurturing, caring. So, and you're going, so it could come out from a place of discontent, or it could simply be from a place of longing. So those are the two places I look at to to arrive upon what is it that I'd really like to have. So it's not a very difficult task, really, but you have to sit down and do it. I think most people, and this is one of the aspects I cover in Up Your Game, is I make you do the work. Most people think it, wish it, but they don't do the work. So you need to sit down, and you perhaps need to go window shopping. So when I say window shopping, look around you. Look at the people whose lives you admire. And you may not admire the life in entirety, but you may admire certain aspects of it. I love the way that person makes money, or I love the way that person is so much at ease giving interviews, or I love the way that person, has so much fun in their life. They just have so much joy. And so, I'd like that. I'd like that. I'd like that. And that's what I do. I go window shopping and I look at, I like what they do. I'd like some of that, please. And universe is infinite, as are you. And all of that universe exists within you too. So there's nothing that you cannot have, but there's a science to having it. Okay. So you need to then follow that science.
So, Smriti, is there a relationship between the three things: money, relationships, and body? Is there a connection between these three things? And what is that? What is that connection?
I would love to say there isn't. I would love to say, okay, I'll go for a relationship class and I'll be sorted with everything. Relationship is my only concern, like there was a time when I had like such lousy relationships and there was just so much meanness and abuse in my universe. And I thought that if I could just sort out my relationships, everything else will be fine,
Yeah.
But unfortunately, no. One aspect tends to kind of affect the other. So like, for example, I didn't have that sense of self-esteem and confidence because I was told that I'm not good enough. Why was I not good enough? I'll tell you. I mean, now that I've gone back and done so much work, I had done very badly in my maths as a little kid, okay? And I was told off so badly and I was made to feel like the dumbest person on the earth. Okay. So from there, I kind of adopted this point of view that I am dumb, I'm not good, I'm stupid, I'm not intelligent, and all of that. Okay. So now, when it comes to handling my finances, I continue to operate from that same place that I'm dumb, I don't know how to do this, it's not my cup of tea, etc. Okay, so I didn't do well monetarily. Obviously, if you land yourself in situations with no money in life, somewhere that point of view, which has come from your personal relationship space, has invaded the way you function in your finances. And so you're not doing well. And so you perpetuate your point of view and your belief that you're not good enough. Right? And now, when you're not happy with your finances or your relationship, any of those two, that stress also gets locked into the body. Okay? That negative thinking, that anger, that frustration, all of this gets locked into the body, and your body gets affected. Okay? So your finances got affected, your body gets affected. Similarly, if you have problems with your body, you think that you're too fat, or you're too thin, or you're too fair, or you're too dark, or whatever, or you don't have enough hair, or your hair is very curly. It could be like all kinds of points of views that we have, which make us think that we are not good enough. And then that same body image or points of views about body end up affecting your relationships because you hesitate to engage with people, you hesitate to go to a party perhaps, or you feel too shy to talk, or you're constantly thinking, I wonder what people must be thinking about me, because you're so used to being judged in your relationships that you're literally expecting it to occur everywhere you go. So your social interactions get affected. The way you think about your body affects your social interactions. And maybe because you think like that about your body, you may not show up on your YouTube videos if you're an entrepreneur, or as part of your work. You may not do many things which will end up affecting your work, your relationships. So I think these are all kind of correlated, interrelated. Some may be more prominent, some may be less prominent. But like your relationship issues may be more prominent, but you don't, because you're so caught up with that, you don't look at how it's actually affecting your money. And by the time you wake up with things happening in my body like I did, it's a bit too late. So
I can understand that to some extent. What's the science behind all of this, Smriti? You mentioned, there's a science to all of this. There's a science to process all of it and to move through the shifts. What is that science?
So everything that's going on outside of you is a reflection of what's going on inside of you. Okay?
How?
Whatever your belief systems are what get created outside of you. So have you noticed that there are people who can eat all they want and they never put on weight?
Yeah, they have just great metabolism. That's what I think.
No, they also have a belief system that I can eat whatever I want and I won't put on weight. And then there are people who say, okay, even if I breathe or I eat air, I'll put on weight. Okay,
Yeah.
and they do.
And they do. Sit next to a donut and it comes on my hips.
Yeah. So your point of view creates your reality. So depending on what belief systems you're operating from, what your points of views are about things, they affect your reality. So if you change the way you think, if you change your belief systems, things outside can change. Now, your belief systems also affect the way you function in terms of your words, in terms of your actions. So it starts from that belief system, and then what you need to do to change it all is change your belief, change your habits, change the way you think, change the way you speak, change the vibration that you be. So just like you would, if you wanted to hear something on, say, a CNN channel on TV, you would, through your remote, tune into the frequency of the CNN channel, and you would be able to watch CNN. You would not be able to watch Star TVs if you tuned into the frequency of CNN, right? So similarly, what you desire to have as your life operates at a certain frequency. But if you are not operating at that frequency, means your game is low, you're operating at a lower frequency, then you are not in tune, and you cannot kind of bring that into your life. It will not show up on your TV screen of your life. Okay, so you've got to tune into what you're asking for, and tuning into something that you're asking for works when you change your paradigms, your belief systems, your points of views, when you become congruent in your words and your actions with what you are asking for.
Smriti, can you give me an example of that?
Okay. So I was having very nasty relationships. There were a lot of people who were mean to me in my life. I'm not saying I didn't have any nice people in my life. I did. But I also had a lot of mental, emotional, and physical abuse that I had, seen in my life. And when I got to all of these workshops, it's only in hindsight that I have understood these kind of things, and now I've changed it. So my belief was that nobody loves me, because that was the belief I formed when I was in school, right? Because of the way certain people had behaved with me, which had made me feel that people are mean and they don't love me and nobody wants me and all of that. And so I kept creating people who were mean, abusive, taking advantage, cheating, all that kind of a thing. Now, it's very convenient to blame them, because it appears as if they have wronged you, and you feel justified in being a victim. So now, if my point of view or my whole behavior is that of a victim, guess what I will create? I will keep creating situations where I get to play the role of a victim,
Because you
because
want to validate that.
inherently, yes, inherently, I believe I'm a victim. And whatever you believe, life does its best to prove you right. So it'll create situations, you will create situations where you can say, see, I'm a victim. See, nobody loves me. So that's what I kept creating royally. All right? Wholesale. And I was like a big victim, big drama queen. Everything was everybody else's fault. I was the poor me. That's how I functioned. Till I got to know that I am the creator of my life. And nobody is responsible for the way my life is showing up. I said, what rubbish. He said this to me. She did that. How can I be the one who is supposed to be responsible for all of this? But that's just the law. That's the law of the universe on which life functions. Whether you acknowledge it or don't acknowledge it, there are certain laws that govern our life. Like there's a law of gravity. If you jump from the building, you are going to go down to the floor and get splattered. Okay? You will not be able to avoid it. Just because you don't know about the law of gravity does not mean that it is not functioning. So, when we create something by our choice of thoughts, words, and deeds, it gets created in the universe. It will show up whether you like it or you don't like it. So what you then do is you start becoming aware of what you're thinking, what your belief systems are, what you say, what you do. So that's what I started doing. I started letting go of all the points of views where I believed that I'm not good enough, people don't love me, people are mean, this world is mean, people are cheaters. I had to let go. So I used the tools to destroy and uncreate all of those points of views. And suddenly, here I was, being loved, being adored, because I was finally bereft of those points of views. I had made that paradigm shift, and I knew that in the infinite field of possibilities, if I have chosen the possibilities by my thinking, whatever may have been the justification doesn't matter, but it's not working for me. So if I created the possibility of people being mean, the possibility of people being wonderful also exists. And I kept choosing that possibility, and I kept aligning myself with it in my words, deeds, and thoughts. And so it came about. That is precisely how I brought about my good health too. So while I was in terrible pain, I was going through chemo, and there were like all sorts of things happening. And I also went through a dark phase for about 10, 12 days. I was like, I'd rather die. I don't want to live and all of that. But I got over it. I stopped being a victim. I said, again, I'm playing that old victim game of mine. Stop it. So I stopped it, and I changed my direction of thinking. And I said, no, I am choosing a healthy body. I have that possibility available to me. What would it take for me to embody that healthy body? And I chose the healthy body. And every time somebody wanted to do a pity game or a sympathy game, I did not entertain it. And they would walk in, like even like post-surgery, etc. When people have walked in, you're looking so good. I said, so? Because they literally expect you to be feeling horrible, looking horrible. I said, yeah, so, that kind of a thing. So people would come to encourage me, but they would go back encouraged by me. And that's the way I lived. And by and large, I'm not saying 100% of the time, but I would say about 95% of the time, that's how I lived. I did not let anything make me deviate from the fact that I have a healthy body, and I will actualize it. So I kept choosing again and again and again. And if I caught myself thinking in a negative way, I would bring myself back to that same frequency of a healthy body again and again and again. And I kept upping my game moment to moment. So I have literally kept choosing. So that's how you do it. You change the way you think.
And Smriti, how long did it take for you to go through this and feel the shift? How long was that actually?
With relationships, it took me like about a few years.
Okay.
But with my body, it took me about, like when I was like at rock bottom, that I was told no hope, from
Hmm.
then about 8 months.
Okay. That was stage 4.
Stage 4, no hope.
Yeah. That's okay. That's incredible. That is really, really incredible. Because most people think there is no way back from that stage, actually.
Yeah, many do, but I can tell you that it is possible.
That's incredible.
But you've got to change your game big time.
And you have
There's a reason why you've gotten there. You've got to undo that entire game.
hmm. Okay. Smriti, you've worked with, and like you said, you've worked with thousands of people. You've brought change in their lives using these tools. Could you give us examples of the shifts they have experienced, just in real terms, like you shared earlier about when we started the call? You shared about the lady who wanted their house on the ocean front and how she got it.
Yeah, so I've had people who were really, what do I say, not in a good space in their relationships with
Hmm.
spouses or with siblings or with parents, but more spouses is where I have worked with.
Okay.
Um, Really bad, like very abusive, and I I know what that's like. Like, I've somehow I feel that my whole journey has been this way so that I could contribute to so many people who go through, it's either health or relationship or money. So it's like I've been there, done that, like
Mhm.
telling it's okay. So I've seen people, and the crux tends to be with relationships. By and large, the crux seems to be lack of respect for self, and that lack of respect for self ends up showing up in abusive relationships. So I have worked with quite a few women who have had that issue, and in certain cases, the relationships have transformed very beautifully, although they were being advised by many, leave it, why do you want to be in it, and all of that. I said,
Mhm.
no, you can't just give up without making a change within you. So
Mhm.
stop the blame games, come out of the victimhood, give it a shot, and then if you feel you want to leave, leave. Of course, I don't encourage it if there's physical abuse happening. No, then I don't encourage it at all. But there are situations where it's changeable, so I help them go through that inner change. And so majority of the places, the things have turned around and relationships have become beautiful. And there have been a couple of cases where it has ended up them separating and divorcing as well. So that's happened. And then there are women who were basically homemakers, and they were financially dependent on their spouses, etc. And they would like certain amount of financial independence, and that was something that they truly desired. So I have helped through my mentoring coaching programs enable quite a few women become entrepreneurs. So they now have their own income, and again, like how it affects every other area. So now that they're earning well, it has also changed the way they function as people. They have that sense of
Uh-huh.
fun and confidence and self-esteem. But actually, I worked on their self-esteem to get them to this side. So it kind of becomes complementary. I've had children, like I had this child who was told by his teacher that you're no good and you're going to fail in your 10th boards.
Hmm.
And this was in December, and prelims were due in February. And
Hmm.
this child ran away from home, writing a note to the parents that I'm so sorry to have disappointed you. And this lady, although I met her she used to manage Ayurvedic center in a
Wow.
holiday resort, but we became friends. And so uh, you know uh, she talked to me, and she had also then ended up doing classes with me. So she told me that this is what's happened, and I'm like so worried for my child. And thankfully he had the sense to come back, and I worked with him, and I addressed the fears of
Hmm.
failure, because a lot of times we can't move forward and we freeze in life, so to say, or we want to escape because we are afraid. So I worked with the fear of failing, and also that point of view that the teacher had installed in him. And once we worked with that, he had barely 1.5 months, and he scored, I think, some 74% in his prelims. And in March, he scored 91%.
Wow. Oh my goodness.
Okay.
That is
That,
truly a big.
yeah, yeah. And so I have worked with a few children where their self-esteem has been pretty low, and then that ends up affecting them in their studies and in their social interactions, and they get bullied. So we've changed some bullying cases as well. Again, going back to where have you decided that you are not powerful enough and they are more powerful than you. So I believe that we are infinite beings, and we are an expression of that infinite intelligence that created us. It is that same intelligence that has created that universe. So if we are an expression of that intelligence, we have the highest and the best software installed within us already, which can create everything that we would like to create, including the nasty stuff. Okay. So it's not just creating the good stuff. We can create everything, right? So how do you use the software? Do you use it to begin with? And if not, then which software am I operating from? So very often we are operating from programs that were installed in us or implanted in us by different kinds of people. And those programs were based on what their realities were. Just because it is somebody else's reality doesn't mean it has to be your reality. So my invitation, and that's like, like my dream with my work, that people awaken to this fact that we have the best, the most supreme operating software available to us. So stop operating from the lower versions. Okay, we will very happily upgrade our phones and our tablets and our laptops and our computers and all our gadgets. How about upgrading your operating software? How about, and it's not even that you've got to go out and get it, it's within us. So just start moving and operating from that software. So my tagline is committed to your success, and your success can only occur if you are willing to up your game, or you're willing to install new habits, new ways of thinking, new ways of functioning. Because if you're willing to do that, it may not happen overnight, the change, but over a period of time, it occurs. So yes, people who were not earning any money are earning money. People who had horrible relationships have beautiful relationships today. More importantly, they're happy, right? They are thriving in their life, and then there are people who had major troubles with their bodies, and I have seen a lot of people change. I would say the change in the area of money and relationship happens far more easily, but with body, people find it very challenging because, the kind of points of views that have been put in by the medical community and a lot of other people are so deeply ingrained that, they find it very difficult that they can change it. And yet I have seen miracles occur. And I am also a walking miracle. So to say. I believe that actually they are ordinary things, but because they are not occurring often, they are known as miracles.
That's
But that
true.
magic, that
That is so
miracle occurs
true.
in everybody,
That
right?
that really is true. Because they don't happen very often. We think it's
So I
it's
have seen aches and pains change. I have seen illnesses reverse just because the person has been willing to choose greater. And then I would also say, Ruchira, I do not say, or I do not claim that there's 100% success rate. No. Uh, there is, I would say, 50 to 60% of the time things change completely. And then for the rest of the people, they are very happy with minor changes, and they just don't go beyond that. So ultimately, I work with people's choices. So my job is to show them that you have a choice, you can choose, and then I have to honor their choice, whatever they may choose.
What are the scenarios, Smriti, and share with us some stories of your work with certain clients where they have made choice? What are the choices that they made that helped them transform, that helped
Okay,
them make that shift?
okay. So I have a very dear friend, and she was not exactly very respected in
Hmm.
her family.
Hmm.
And so she was a typical homemaker when she first came to my first money class. And then she went on to do a mentoring coaching program with me. And I made her make a list uh, of all the things that she knows how to do. Okay,
Hmm.
not whether she's good at it or not, didn't matter.
Huh.
What are the things that she knows how to do? So
Hmm.
she made a list of all the things that she knows how to do.
Hmm.
And then I asked her, okay, now tell me, what are these of this list? What are the, so this is something I'd invite all of you to do. Make a list of, if you want to create more revenue streams, this is what you do. So
Hmm.
you make a list of all the things that you know how to do. Okay, even if it means giving a blowjob. Okay, so
Okay, then.
okay, so you make a list of all the things that you know how to do. It could be
Hmm.
gardening, it could be painting, embroidery, cooking, whatever you know how to do. Just put it all down. Okay, then look at, of those things, what are the fun things for you to do? So you may say, oh, so in this particular case, my friend said, oh, you know what, I used to exhibit earlier, a long time ago, and I like clothes and all of that. I'd like to exhibit clothes. I said,
Hmm.
okay, so this is one of the things that you're going to do. So I got her to agree to exhibiting clothes. And then the second thing that I knew about her was that she cooks very well. And of course, in her list, there was cooking. I said, listen, I would love for you to start a cooking business, as in start catering from home.
Hmm.
So you don't have to make like any investment. And I love to create businesses with no or minimal investments. So I said, let's start home catering. And she said, but I don't enjoy cooking. I said, I don't care. You are going to cook. So I work with her belief that it's not fun, that she's not good at it, or she's not going to enjoy it, and it's going to be like such a pain. So I worked with changing her beliefs. I also worked with her confidence, and I asked her to look at, like, her whole story was, I'm not good enough. So I
Hmm.
said, okay. I asked her to acknowledge a lot of things that she has done. I said, do you think you would have been able to do all of this if you were not good enough?
Hmm.
And so she said, oh my God, yeah, actually I am good enough. So we worked with that, and I got her to do two businesses, one of her choice and one of my choice.
Uh-huh.
Very soon, she said, you know what, I don't want to do this exhibition business, and I am having so much fun cooking. And today she is you know earning decently well, and she's independent, and she's one of the people who ended up with a divorce,
Hmm.
and she's so much happier,
Oh.
and she's so much happier, and she is independent, and uh, she looks after herself. She's financially not dependent on anybody, and she's
Hmm.
having such a blast. And when you're having such a blast running your business, the love, the attention, the gratitude that you get from your clients, I think she thrives on all of that today. There's such a contribution
Hmm.
to her life. So she's having a ball, and now of course I'm on her case to add more things and expand her business. And now she has learned not to resist me. So now, so the things that I made her do was, one,
Hmm.
believe in herself. to acknowledge all the things that she could do and see which of those things she can convert into a revenue stream. Plus,
Okay.
she loves all this alternate healing, so she's also into. I encouraged her to create her own classes and do personal private sessions, which also she does. So she's created like two income streams. I made her start looking at her finances that she never used to look at. So I started making her get down to work with her finances. And so I give one activity at a time. And once they've done that one activity, because doing one activity is easier than looking at the whole thing and everything you need to do. So I make you do one activity. And then once you've done that one activity, I asked her, I said, did you die? She said, no. So I said, so do the next one. Okay. So, so recently she set up her own business account and all of that. And she ended up inheriting the property. And
Wow.
so she's doing well. There was another friend of mine who took a coaching program with me, and she never had her own money. Although she's in a wealthy family, but she never had her own money, and she had to give explanation for anything that she wanted to do for herself. And that used to really feel very demeaning, because you've given all of your life to your family, your kids, and you can't even ask for money. Like you can't even have your own money. You have to ask for it all the time, and for that also you're given grief. So she really wanted to change that, and the way she's treated. And she has gone on to have 5 apartments assigned to her name. And
Wow. That is awesome.
and she is she's become a person who does not have breakdowns like she used to, and she moved out of that victimhood to having come into her own as a person. And she's having an amazing time like that. So these are
massive
a few things I work on.
These are massive shifts, though, Smriti. These are like life-changing shifts to experience and to bring about, and to be able to bring it about not in 10 years or 15 years, but to be able to bring it about very quickly, to become independent, to attract respect and appreciation in a short span of time, to go from not being able to get it to being able to get it is amazing. That's
But it's
really
all possible. It's all possible. The trick is not to look at any situation in your life as a problem. Nothing is a problem. If there's anything that exists, it's a reflection of how you think or what you believe. Change that, change your actions, change your habits, and you can change it.
That's incredible. So actually, I have a question from someone, and we can, Smriti, is it okay to take a few people on the call?
Sure. I would love that.
Find out what's going on with them.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'll invite Vandana. Vandana is asking about, I'm not sure whether this is herself or if she's asking about someone. I'm going to ask Vandana to unmute. Vandana, can you hear us?
Yeah, hi, I can hear you.
Hi, Vandana.
Hi, Vandana. Thank you for being here.
No, thank you so much.
Vandana, share your question with Smriti.
Yeah, so my question is that what exactly is our belief system when we have major illnesses like cancer, or like you've beaten it so many times. So obviously it is a certain thought process that probably brings these illnesses into our bodies.
Okay.
So
before I go there, I'd like to reflect on a word that you used, beaten. I didn't beat cancer. Cancer was not a bad thing to be beaten. Right? So just that approach or that perspective helped me change it. Because if you've already decided that it's a bad thing and you have to beat the shit out of it, or you have to fight it, then what you fight or what you have decided is bad will stay as that.
Okay.
So Now, here's an example, if I may use this, Vandana. This is how we casually use words.
Yeah, without thinking.
And we just create something, or we solidify something in our life.
Right,
Okay?
right.
It's a very casual statement. And even I would say it like this: come on, you've got to beat this, you've got to fight this, come on, we will, no.
Yeah, I didn't realize I had used the word when I spoke to you. Just came, yeah.
Right. Right. So if to begin with, cancer is something that is that has to be beaten, and it's like so bad, then it'll only be bad, 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 bad. So cancer or any terminal disease for that matter, what I learned as part of my access consciousness work is that terminal diseases are something that we create when we are dying to get out of something. So you've got to start looking at an area of your life or some areas of your life which you don't really like, or you don't like what's going on. And so you're trying to escape it because maybe you don't know how to deal with it. Maybe you've given up on it. Maybe you have no clue how to change it. So it's just best to get out. So now how do you get out? Committing suicide is not a very respectable way of dying. And there's also a whole lot of other points of views attached to it. So a very respectable way to get out is through illness, where people will care for you. They will, it's a good way to get out. It's an easy way to get out of life. And cancer is also very often a reflection of, and I'm not saying that this has to be the case for everybody, but this is what it is by and large with all the people I work with. Like I have created a platform called I to We, which is illness to wellness, because in illness, there's I, LLNESS, and in wellness, there is WE and LLNESS. And I believe that when I get supported by everybody, a community, and when it becomes a we, illness turns to wellness. Illness is very often a shout out or a wake up call for love, care, nurturing, attention, or it's a wake up call to showing you that you are not aligned with why you came to this planet. Our body is like a GPS, okay? So as long as we are aligned with what we came here for, which is to grow, to thrive, to have fun, to live with ease, we are fine. But when we are not aligned with all of that, and we start operating from negative thinking, hurt, victimhood, anger, blame games, etc., it creates an imbalance of energy flow in the body, and you start going off track. So illness is always GPS going beep, 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 beep. You've gone off track. So you need to come back and align with what you came here for. And you came here to thrive, sweetheart. So is this something that's going on with you or with somebody know?
No, this was a question that came in my mind hearing your story.
Generally.
Yeah,
so
generally.
So this is the questions we will ask. Is there something in your life that you want to move out from? Is there something that you don't like about your life? Are you having fun? Do you love your life? Because very often people will say, no, I don't want to die. I want to live. That's what even I said. Okay? Why would I want to die? But there has to be something going on that is creating the death. It's just that you've not acknowledged it. So deep down, when I worked with myself, I was doing a session with somebody, like I was the client and the person was doing a session. And in that session, that memory of a 14-year-old when I tried to kill myself came up. And I thought I had worked on it through all this work that I had done over these last, few years. But apparently I had buried the rage. And I still felt the rage, and I still felt unworthy of living. And so in hindsight, I saw that I had been creating a lot of situations in my life where people were being mean and abusive because I felt I deserved to be treated badly because I was not good enough. And so that was my final crucial moment where I had to let go of that victimhood, that blame game, that rage, And it was only after that that my body had the chance to start changing. So it deteriorated first. I didn't know whether I'll survive, but at least I had gained my freedom from that rage. And finally, I was not a victim any longer. And so there's a law on this planet called law of vacuum. So when you create a vacuum, only then can something wonderful replace it. So when I created a vacuum by letting go of that rage and that judgment and that victimhood, something beautiful could show up in its place. So anytime you want something new to show up, you have to release something. It's not releasing something is what's keeping that illness or that financial problem or that relationship issue in place. So if you follow the law of vacuum, you can change it.
Got it.
Thanks
Thank you
so
so
much.
much. Thank
So
you.
with breast
Thanks,
cancer cases, you will often see that those women feel that they were not loved, or they were not nurtured, or they were just taken for granted. Very often you will see this. When I have women who come with uterus related issues, the first question I ask, and they get like psyched, how did you know? By and large, it's a relationship with a partner that you need to look at, or something to do with the way your pregnancy went, or something that happened related to, your womanhood, or lack of nurturing, caring that has created that issue.
Thank you so much.
You're
Thank
so
you.
welcome, Vandana.
Thank you.
Thanks, Vandana. Smriti, and I just want to announce we've not shared this with everyone. Smriti has a beautiful process that she's going to take everyone through at the end of the call. So do stay around. You're going to feel, you're going to get a glimpse of what she does in her program, Up Your Game. You're going to get a glimpse of that on the call in this process. So just hang around for that. Smriti, take us. I know you have a couple of people who've experienced this program with you. They're here, and they could share with us what are the shifts that they have experienced.
Hey, Bhavna, thank you for being here.
Let me just ask Bhavna to unmute. So I'd love to, yeah. Bhavna, can you unmute yourself?
Did. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Okay, great. Hi, Smee.
Hey, darling. Thank you for being here.
Thank you so much. So I just wanted to ask you, how do you find my new haircut?
I was just looking at that, and you are looking gorgeous.
Great. So this question was simply because my dad hates it. Okay, me cutting my hair short. And I chose me. I chose what I want. Yeah. And that's what I've learned in Up Your Game with Smriti, to choose myself. How many times we've literally read, seen, or people giving TED talks, saying value yourself, appreciate yourself,
Yeah.
or but with me I realized how to do it. We know about it, we read it, we hear people talking about it, about valuing yourself and appreciating yourself, but with me we understand how magical can we be. Firstly, let me warn you, she asks a lot of questions. But those questions, oh my god, they are like peeling of an onion, and and every single layer, the question she asks, every single layer of judgments, of that self-criticism, of that depreciation that we do every time, that is all unpeeled. And then what remains with you is actually the core valuable you. And that's what Up the Game is all about. I did that module and I was blown away. I said, this is so simple, this is so easy, but why don't we choose it? Why do we complicate our lives so much? So she talks about your body, relationships, and everything, and it all begins with how much you value yourself. You know, if you want money, you want that job, you want that car, you want that career, you want fame, you can get it. You can get it all. And that's the belief she's instilled with this Up Your Game module. I don't know what more can I say with that.
That's incredible. Bhavna, share with us what were the first couple of shifts that you experienced in your life, after, right after
Um,
doing the
the
program?
biggest shift, um, it's my, we are brought up in a certain way, and we are taught certain value systems, and we are taught, to be kind, gracious, and giving all the time. But
Hmm.
we have never been taught how to receive.
Hmm. That's true,
I mean,
especially for
I
women.
was the first time I remember, it's very simple thing, but I remember and it has stayed with me for a very long time, is um, Smriti taught me how to receive. I used to shy away from receiving compliments. A
Yeah, I
basic
can
thing
understand.
like that we can't receive. We give because that is taught to us. Giving is being kind, giving compliments is, being polite, or you're being whatever, all those point of views that people have, that Smriti just talks about. It's just a point of view. Why are we judging ourselves based on that? And that receiving yourself with that is beautiful. When you start giving compliments to yourself, when you start receiving compliments, and you start receiving money also, then and that's what happened with me. When I learned how to receive, I suddenly started getting, my career got a boost. I started receiving more offers. I had a choice to choose what I want,
How
and what I
fabulous.
don't want to do. And uh, and that's beautiful when you have so much choices, and you need to make the real choice what you really want to do. So receiving is something I really will talk about, that I learned from Smriti.
That's fantastic. Thank you so much, Bhavna. Thank you for sharing that. Because very often it's one thing to understand notionally how something works, and then to actually see how somebody has adopted it in their life, and how they've experienced the change from that. That's really remarkable.
Yeah, and I just want to say that she starts with gratitude and ends with gratitude, but we have so much of gratitude for her being in our lives. She's like that lighthouse, who's guiding you to sail your ship in the deep sea. So go for it. I think it's a wonderful, wonderful program, and I have actually upped my game. There's no fear for anything right now.
That's fantastic. How fantastic. Thank you so much,
Thank you
Bhavna.
so much. Thank you for having me.
Thank you, sweetheart.
Thanks,
I'm so
mate.
grateful for you, my
I
darling.
I call you me. It's awesome me.
I love
How
you.
lovely.
Thank you.
So, Smriti, do you have a few? We have a little bit of time before
Mhm.
we move to your special, what you've planned, the special experience for everyone. Shall we take on a couple of people to see
Sure,
how this works with? Yeah.
sure, sure.
Um, People, everyone on the call, just let us know if you'd like to understand what is holding you back, what's limiting you.
Ranjali is raising her hand.
Yeah, we'll just
Yeah,
look
go for
at
it.
the.
Whatever. I'll go with Ruchira, whatever.
I'll just take a look at. Okay, we'll come. We'll take a few people. So, Dolly, Dolly, can you hear us?
Hello. Yeah, Ruchira.
Hi,
Hi.
Dolly.
Hi,
Hi.
Dolly.
Hi. Hi.
Dolly, share
Nice.
with us.
Okay. So I had put a question that uh, I literally go out of my way to help if somebody needs me. And my closest of friends and family, I cannot trust them to help me when I am in need. They just back off. My immediate family, my very good friends, I don't know why this happens with me. So I always have this feeling of fear that I cannot move ahead, or I cannot, when I don't know who to call or if I'm in real need. Maybe it may be just somebody to vent out, or if I need any assistance or anything, I just don't know who to approach. I just go close, like, I just close myself because of that.
So when did you, Dolly, first decide that nobody will help you?
It's over the years I have been facing these issues.
No, when was the first time that you felt that? When was the first time? How old were you?
Like even as a kid, I remember I was always. I mean, we are only two sisters actually. I have an elder sister and me, but we were always compared. Where looks were concerned, where the needs were concerned, it was always she was given a priority, and like I was always the secondary, although I was the youngest, second and the youngest. But I don't know whether it was my mother was expecting a son or what it was. I don't know, but that has stayed with me. That has stayed with me all these years, and
So
I do feel like I have never. I mean, I have always tried to please everybody, but when it comes to me, I really can't expect anybody to do that.
So when your parents and everybody functioned the way they functioned, you came to believe that you are second, that you don't matter, right?
Yeah, but probably as a kid, I did not understand it. But
Yeah,
if I
but
think back now, I feel yes,
yeah,
it has been happening.
yeah. And so now my point of view has to be validated, right?
Yeah.
So two things are occurring here, Dolly. One, we become people pleasers
Right.
because we want everybody to like us.
Yes.
Precisely, right? We want everybody to say wonderful things to us, about us. And so we go out of our way to be there and do everything for everybody. I've been there, so I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, that people pleasing habit comes from the place that somewhere deep down, I believe that I need to be validated, that I am not good enough. So I will do my best to do everything to prove to myself that I am worthy, I am lovable, I am likable, because deep down, I believe I'm not. So as a result, then you make it even a more vicious cycle, because now you don't say no.
Yeah.
And when you don't say no, you are not valuing yourself. You are not honoring yourself. So your belief that you're secondary and you don't matter gets compounded with this action which says, I don't matter, you matter, you come first, I come second. So if that is the case where I don't matter and I am not a VIP in my life, nobody sees me as one and nobody treats me as one.
Yeah, but it's like right now it has been playing a lot on my mind.
Yeah.
A lot.
So would you like to change that?
Of course, definitely.
Okay. So are you willing to make yourself the most important person in your life?
Yes, I am willing to, but I mean, probably I am not being able to be as mean as I should be with certain people. I cannot bring myself to do that. Just for the
because being mean is
I don't know. It's not
wrong.
me. It's not wrong, but it's not me. Like
Okay,
yeah.
sweetheart.
Yes.
We are infinite beings, and as an infinite being, there is nothing that you cannot be. Okay, so while you are kind, you also have the capacity to be rude, to be mean, to be, if I may use the word here, to be a bitch, so to say, in their eyes.
Yeah.
Okay? Now, it is our unwillingness to be everything that keeps us functioning as a finite being. Okay? So if you were being an infinite being, and if you were willing to be so-called mean in their eyes, from their point of view, but if in the bargain, if you were honoring you and valuing you, you would be able to create greater. So is that resistance to not, to not be that because I have a point of view about it or I have a wrongness about it that keeps me from being everything. So now to be a VIP, if it means being willing to say no, even if it so to say appears mean, then you are telling the universe, I am saying what I believe. I am doing what I believe. And then the universe turns around and says, oh, she is now done with being the second person in everyone's life or nobody in everybody's life. Now she is somebody. So now people will start treating you like that VIP, like that somebody. But it has to begin with you. And so you may not feel like saying no, but then by not saying no, is it taking you towards being treated well? Then go for it, if that's what you truly desire. But if you don't truly desire that and you're happy playing second fiddle and not being treated well, you can continue to be a people pleaser. But if you really truly want to change this, then you've got to make it a habit to include yourself in the equation of life. You matter. In the bargain, you may lose some people, but so be it. Do you matter enough? That's the question I would ask you to look at. Do you truly matter enough? Are you the most precious person in your own life? And are you willing to treat yourself as that precious person? So if you treat yourself like a piece of rock, people will kick you around because they see a rock, because that's what you're being. Okay? But if you are treating yourself like a diamond and you're being precious, see, the energy you be is what gets reflected, right? So if you're being that precious, valuable diamond, then everybody sees you like that and treats you like that. Trust me on this one. But you've got to inculcate that habit of including yourself in the equation of your life.
Yeah, but I mean, just if I could share, I did try about, this was in July, from July onwards, I did try to put my foot down on certain things which I was not liking, but it didn't matter. It didn't matter to the person I was trying to get back at. It's just like ignored. You're totally ignored. Yeah.
Yeah. So we don't get back, because when you're getting back at people, you're operating from the judgment that they don't care.
No, sorry to cut you. Yeah. It was just that, okay, if it was like, I was trying to behave the same way as I was treated, like probably a piece of furniture, okay? And if I turned around and tried to do the same thing, it really did not matter. There was no effect. It just continued.
No. It would continue. So when you were trying to treat them like a furniture, just the way they treat you, what is your underlying emotion or thought or feeling or point of view? That I am going to?
No. I was for quite a few days, I was quite stern about it, that, okay, now it's not affecting me because, now I'm not pampering, going out of my way to pamper. So it's okay. Like, when I was doing something, I was expecting to be acknowledged for it. Okay. And now when I thought of, okay, fine, I'm not going to do it. So maybe it did not really matter. Yeah, but deep within it did matter. It's like superficially, I thought I was okay. But yeah, if you tell me like deep within me, I still crave for it.
Yeah. So if you could truly have a reality that you would like, what would that be?
I would want to be appreciated, acknowledged at least. At least acknowledged that I exist.
Okay. So Dolly, may I ask you a question?
Yeah.
How many times in a day do you acknowledge you?
Me, myself?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
How
Not
many
much.
times in a day do you compliment yourself?
Not really.
How many times in a day do you give gratitude for you?
Not really. Yeah, not, no, I don't. I don't. And now with the lockdown, so, we are really taking ourselves for granted. We don't get ready. We don't, try to look good. So it's like we are hardly looking at the mirror.
But even if you were not dressed in the best of, clothes and diamonds and all of that,
Mhm.
there's still you.
Yeah.
Do you acknowledge you? Do you have gratitude for you? Do you give you compliments? How do you treat you?
I sincerely don't look
So,
at myself.
so
Yeah.
Dolly, this is where I would begin. Whether somebody
Mhm.
acknowledges me or not does not matter.
Mhm.
Whether somebody remembers that I exist does not matter. What matters is what I treat myself, how I treat myself. Okay? What do I do with me? So here's an
Yeah.
exercise that you would do. And this is an exercise that we do in one of the calls of Up Your Game, which is focused on relationships. And relationship is not just relationship with others, it's also your own relationship with you. So your
Yeah.
own relationship with you also gets reflected in relationship with others. So I would invite you, Dolly, to start with every day loving you,
Yeah.
acknowledging you, valuing you. Get the energy of that.
Yes. Yes.
Okay?
Yeah.
And the gift that I am going to take you through, I said I would like to gift the whole group like, you know, a meditative journey, so to say.
Mhm.
And this is what we're going to be doing at that. But right now, I invite you to look at how beautiful you are, not just physically, sweetheart.
Yeah.
Okay? But look at how beautiful you are. You're a kind person. You are there for people. And you do many small things and big things to make lives comfortable and make people feel cherished and loved. So how about acknowledging how beautiful you are? And how about treating yourself like that? And then when you will start respecting you, honoring you, treasuring you, acknowledging you, it may not happen overnight, but over a period of time, that what you're being is what will start reflecting on the outside. And some people will still choose not to acknowledge you, and that's okay. But there'll be a lot of people who will show up in your life who will treasure you because you have decided to treasure yourself, sweetheart. So will you
I
start doing this exercise every day? It may feel very superficial to begin with and very mechanical to begin with, but go with it and don't give up on it and do it for the next 2 months, 3 months, 5 months. Whether you come to this particular Up Your Game program or not, do this. Everybody, please do this. Acknowledge yourself every day. Pat your back, compliment yourself, treat yourself.
Yep. Yeah. I think I should do that more. Yeah.
Treat yourself as a treasure.
Yeah.
Treasure
Like
you.
I just would like to share, I do get compliments. I do get a lot of attention from people, like unwanted attention, yes. But I myself think, hey, kya, what is it?
Yeah.
I just shun it off, it's like that.
So when people are giving it to you, you don't want it.
Because they are
And
not the
then,
people who I want from. That's the issue.
Dolly, come to the program. Come to the program and unpack all of this.
but John, are you seeing this? What it's creating for you?
Yeah.
See, we get all kinds of people in our life, and there'll be people who will shower you with a lot of things, and there'll be people who will not choose to because they're operating from a certain place. But when you're willing to not have a barrier and not have a judgment of how they are functioning, and you are choosing consciousness, which means you're willing to receive them just the way they are, then there's a space that gets created where a change can occur. But till you're operating from the point of view, they're like this, they're like this, they're like this, that's what you keep solidifying again and again with that thought, with that emotion, with that feeling. So it has to change. So you have to replace unconsciousness with consciousness. Healing is always a side effect of consciousness, whether it's healing your life, your relationships, your body, your money. So when we are judging somebody for the way they are functioning with us, we are solidifying that with that judgment. Judgment separates you from that person. So there are many tools like putting your barriers down, being in allowance, that you've got to start incorporating, but simultaneously and primarily, you need to start loving you and start receiving compliments from your own self and acknowledgement from your own self, and start treasuring you, sweetheart.
Yeah.
Only when you will believe that you're worthy of that love and that joy and that treasure and all of that, it'll come from everywhere.
I'll
Thank you so much, Dolly.
definitely try. I will definitely try. Thanks, Smriti. Thanks a
Don't
lot.
try. Don't try. You will never do it, is what I'm saying.
I'll do it. Thanks so much, Smriti.
Thanks, Dolly.
So welcome.
Smriti, I've got like a whole barrage of comments from everyone. Dr. Radha's been saying this call is so infectious and informative. It has that zing thing, almost like Coca-Cola. She says it's almost like a life coaching call. Preeti says Preeti and Sangeet have messages for Dolly. They both are sending you lots and lots of love.
There you go,
Sangeet,
Dolly.
you're an amazing person. Shilpa says, thank you, Smriti. I feel like $1 million tonight.
Oh, I'm so grateful for that. You are $1 million. You're $1 trillion, darlings, all of you. Can you see it though?
I want to be on the call so you can help me see it. Smriti.
I am happy to. And I will not let you off the hook, okay? With my program, let me tell you, there's no try. We do it.
Yeah. So when Dolly was saying, I'll try, and she said a few times earlier as well, she said, I've tried in the past, I've tried. So this has been my experience. Whenever I have tried things, I'm coming from a point of view where I think I'm most likely to fail. And that's why I'm saying I'll give it a shot, or I will try, because I think that I'm likely to fail. Whereas, like Smriti said, just do it, or like Nike says, just do it.
You know, we keep our back doors open very often.
Yeah.
And if you want to change your life, you have to shut your back door.
That's so true. That's profound, Smriti.
Yeah. And you've got to be willing to have your own back. Whether anybody else has your back or not, the universe has your back, and you've got to have your own back. You've got to be there for you. You know, there's nothing that you will tell me what you're going through that I haven't been through myself. You name it, and I've been there. And I think that's the reason why probably I was blessed with such a tough life. So that I could stand here today and say, hey, you know, sweetheart, you've got it. If I can change it, you can too.
That's remarkable. In fact, Darpana says to me, a big hug from me. Love you. Anjana says, I love you.
Love you all. Thank you so much.
Smriti, share with us what the program is all about. I'm also going to share my screen so everyone understands what you're covering in the 3 calls. And I'll just, Sangeet loves your line about shut your back door. She's going to share that with her kids also.
Okay, so my program is called Up Your Game. And it is a program that comes straight from the depths of my heart. And these are things that I have done myself. I initially introduced it as a 5-day program, but now what I've done is I've clubbed it into 3 calls. And this program is originally priced at 20,200 INR. And what we are doing is I'm going to be doing 3 calls essentially. One is going to be focused on relationships. The second call is going to be focused on money. And the third call is going to be focused on body. And it's a very experiential program where I ask you to do exercises, as in I will ask you to give your response to questions. Like Bhavna said, I asked too many questions because I want you to look at where you are right now, and you won't know that if you don't question. Okay? So I make you look at where you are so you can see what is creating it. Like, for example, when I asked Dolly certain questions about whether she compliments herself, whether she expresses gratitude to herself, there you could begin to see that I don't value myself. And so, how am I being valued on the outside starts showing up. So, but there'll be many other criteria which I would work with in detail with Dolly about expectations, projections, all of that. Okay. So the 3 calls, we will do them literally like a workbook. Okay. Where you will have to do certain exercises, look at where you are, and then I will give you tips and tricks and hacks to change it, which means more exercises. Like I've told her, compliment yourself every day, even if you don't feel like, but do it. So, so I will give you certain exercises to continue doing. And these are exercises for your life. You can use them all your life and keep grading greater and greater, because at any point of time, because you're an infinite being, you can up your game to the next level and to the next level and to the next level. So with the program, you may up your game to a certain level, but 1 year down the line, you will want to up it further. So the 3 calls will be experiential, very exercise oriented, and what else? So the original program is 20,200, and
everyone wants to find out how much it is costing on the Tele Summit. Give me a yes. Give me a yes in the chat.
So for all the people who've joined this particular call today, this program is available to you at 17,700. But there's one more thing. If you choose to sign up within 24 hours of this call, then you get like a special price of 12,390, all inclusive. And if you sign up after 24 hours, then it's 17,700. Okay, you will still get that benefit. Instead of 20,200, you'll still get 17,700. But within 24 hours, if you sign up, then it's 12,390. And I have one more call. So like, let's say you are not too sure and you want to kind of, dip your feet in the water and test it out and see if this program is for you. Then on the 23rd of September, I'm doing a 1-hour crash course. And that crash course is available at a very special price for you at 1,500. But if you sign up within 24 hours. But if you sign up beyond 24 hours and later you decide, oh, you know what, I think I'll go check it out, then it's 2,500 all inclusive. And the people who are signing up for all 3 calls now are also going to get that crash course as a bonus. You don't have to pay extra for it. So that is what it is going to be. So the calls are going to be so we'll have the crash course on 23rd of September, and we have one call on Saturday, 26th September, another one on Saturday, 3rd October, and the third one on 10th October. Now, you will do the exercises, but you will also be connected to a support group. So even when we finish the program, for a month out after that, you will continue to be supported via a WhatsApp group, because when you will be actually applying the tools that I will give you in the program, the exercises to do, you may come up with, Smriti, I'm finding it very hard to do, but this is what's going on. And you may want to vent, and you may be, like not being able to see the light or getting frustrated. I'm there to support you. I'm committed to your success. I'm there to support you every step of the way till you fly off. So once people take off, they don't even bother to come back to that support group, but I am there for you as long as you require it. So the support group will be there for at least a month. I mean, 1 month is normally enough. So you will be through and through supported with your journey.
That's fantastic.
Anything that I may have missed out?
No, not really. In fact, I just want to link this back. The reason why we asked you right in the beginning of the call on what are the changes you want to see in your life. What do you want to happen in your life? What are the things that you want that will bring you happiness and joy? And you know, just imagine if you could enjoy life a lot
Yeah.
more than what you are enjoying right now, your relationships. And I remember, I think Parita had said that she wanted more ease, more luxury, more excitement in your life.
Yeah.
Imagine, Parita, you're able to do that with these tools that Smriti is going to share. And 6 hours, 6 hours of your life, and she's going to share these tools that help you bring more excitement in your life, more luxury, more fun, and more ease. I remember, I think I'm going to go back in our chat and see. There were a whole bunch of you, Vanita Shri, Pooja Ranjali. You said you talked about developing harmonious relationships with family and friends. These are things
Very
like,
possible.
yeah, Smriti, I mean, you've worked with on relationships, and you one of the calls is entirely focused on relationships.
And believe me, when you work on relationships, eventually you, in every area, you will see that you have to actually work on yourself, but with certain different exercises in each section, and they will end up affecting all the other areas of your life.
So today, I know we've shared with you that there are that it is possible to bring that shift if you are looking at making a change in your beliefs, and if you're willing and you're committed to releasing those fears or those limitations. On the calls, you'll find that Smriti will share with you um, exercises that help you, like easy steps, like like she mentioned, baby steps that you take to see to see that change. As you keep taking, as you take every step, you're going to see that change in your life. So imagine you come back from the first call, and you start, employing the changes that you've seen, or the processes that you've gone through. You start employing that in your life. You start making the choices, the right choices that lead you to having that harmonious relationship. And we've seen Bhavna. I like the way Bhavna spoke about, I got a haircut, my dad didn't like it, but it doesn't really matter to me, I'm loving it. It could be small things like that, and it could be large things like somebody like coming out of cancer, or recovering from a health issue. I know a couple of you also asked about how it helps to deal with serious health issues, like Alzheimer's, etc. Smriti will share with you on these calls how to cope with these better, so that it doesn't, how to come out of some of these health issues. It's fantastic how she's brought together these things. Smriti, how did you decide actually to bring in relationships, money, and body? Is quite remarkable.
Like I said, I have faced like humongous challenges in all of the areas, and I have really changed every area of my life. I mean, today it sounds like, just a very natural thing to do, but it all began with, I am an infinite being and I came here to thrive. I live in an abundant universe. So why is my life lacking? And I am having more, and I'm having greater. And I think that was, that ferocity that I am having, 2 apartments of my own. I'm having, multiple businesses. I am having wonderful relationships. It was a demand that I made of my life because I know it's possible. Maybe I didn't know the how, but the how is what I figured out on my own, step by step, by training myself, studying, attending workshops. I've spent millions on myself studying, and then more important, applying. And that's where the lacuna comes. We know, but we don't know how to apply. Like Bhavna also said, we don't know the how to. And that is my forte. because I have done it, I know the breakdowns. So like with Dolly, I would begin with that exercise of, look at what you think of yourself. Look at what your judgments are of you. Do you compliment yourself? So when I make you look at where are you functioning from with regards to you, or with regards to what are your expectations of that person? What is really bothering you is that you have an expectation that the person should treat you a certain way, and that expectation is not being met. So it's like, making your blood boil. Now, how do I change that aspect where I let go of that expectation? Doesn't mean you can't expect, but it is precisely that expectation, which is based on the point of view that I don't have it, is what's keeping that in place. So I kind of take you below the surface and change the root cause. So I have to give you exercises. I'm sorry if you don't like, but I will give you exercises. And if you're committed to having your life as greater, then come to the program, because you came here to be the greatness. Don't keep yourself from being that greatness or having that greatness. And again, your choice creates. So somebody may say, you know what, I don't have the money, or I'd rather use that money elsewhere. But believe me, it is when you choose something that money gets created. It's not the other way around. When I bought my first apartment, I didn't have the money for it. I had 5 lakhs of rupees, all of that, okay, approximately 5. And I said, I'll borrow about 7 or, now this is like way back, okay, when property prices were not the way they are today. And a good 1-bedroom apartment in Andheri would cost about 12 to 15 lakhs. So I said, I have 5 lakh and back balance, I'll take a loan and I'll do it. But when I went looking for an apartment, the one I fell in love with was 25 lakhs. That was 20 lakhs more than what I had, plus interior costs, etc. So I needed a budget of about 35 lakhs, and I had only 5. But I said, no, I am having that. And it came about that I was in that apartment within 2-3 months in a way that allowed me to pay over a period of time, but I could occupy the apartment while that period was on. And within 2.5 years, I had paid off the entire 25 lakhs. And I had bought a second one also by then. I bought a second one as well. So your choice creates the money. So today, even if you don't have it, and you say, but I'd like to be in that program. Hey, universe, show me where can I find the money? And something will occur and the money shows up. There was a program I wanted to do with Dr. Dane here in 2015. It was about 72,000 or something like that. And in that moment in February, when I knew about it, that it's happening in July, I didn't have the money. And I'm like, oh my God, 72,000 bucks. How am I going to pay for such an expensive course? And that time it was expensive. Now nothing is expensive. But that was my point of view then. But then I said, oh, I have learned these tools. Let me try them. So I said, hey, universe, I'd like to attend that class. And what would it take for me to be there? Within 2 days, I get a call from an old real estate client of mine saying, we've got 3 expats coming in. They want to see the properties. If they like Bombay, if they like apartments, they'll choose the job. Otherwise, they will not. And I said, okay, I'll go ahead. This is not an assured business, but I knew I had asked for something. And this opportunity had shown up. Of the 3, 2 rejected Bombay. And that time it used to be called Bombay. And one person decided to stay. And not only did he decide to stay, he even upped his budget. And he took a far bigger apartment. And July was the class. By June 5th or 6th, the commissions were in my account.
Fantastic.
Like 10 times more than what I wanted.
How awesome is that?
So your choice creates everything.
I just want to remind everyone, and I have a question as well. So,
Ruchira, we lost you for a minute.
If you want to, okay, can you hear me now? My internet is a little little off, but so if you sign up for just the crash course and you want to sign up for the 3 calls after you experience the crash course and you want to go deeper and you want to sign up for the 3 calls later, you'll be paying a total of, I think, 17,700, right? And I'm just going
Plus
to...
the 1,500 for the crash course.
But if you sign up today...
Today.
If you sign up today for the 3 calls, you're getting the crash course as a bonus within it. And what you're paying is actually, especially in this 24-hour offer, you are paying 13,000. Let me just bring back share the screen again so everyone can see. You're paying 12,390, and that's $192. Yeah. So you're getting the three calls, 2 hours each, and you're getting the bonus crash course call as well. And this is only for 24 hours, of course, this pricing. And if you just want to get a taste of it and get a glimpse and see how things work, and you want to get a quick look at how it all works for you, there's just the single group call. That's crash course. Now, Dr. Radha is asking, I'm just going to stop sharing the screen. Dr. Radha is asking, being group calls, how much can we benefit as individuals? Are the tools personalized?
So there will be certain general exercises for sure, but there will also be things that will be personalized, because sometimes somebody's point of view or belief is very different from another person. So I do address that personally as well. So there may be certain exercise that you may need to do, which others may not need to do. So yes, I will bring that up. And that's the idea of having it as a live class instead of just giving you the exercises on a daily basis, so that you can bring forth what is going on for you. And that's where we will begin from. Where are you right now? And then I will support you personally and as a group. And like I said, there'll also be a support group later. So I'm there for you. I am committed to your success, because I know it's possible for you to be successful. That I know from the depths of my heart and my life, because we live in a beautiful universe and you are an infinite being. You can do it. You got this. And even if you apply a little bit of what I have said in these calls, you can still change quite a lot of things in your life.
That's great. In fact, Dr. Radha is dreaming about a villa in Greece by the sea. Dr. Radha, imagine paying only 12,390 for that villa to make that villa happen in your life.
You know, Ruchira, as you're saying this, I would like to say, basically, this program is kind of a crash course of my life coaching program, which goes on for 10 months.
Oh, okay.
Which is priced at 200,000. Okay. But what I've done is, I know like there are times when there are people who choose it with me, of course. And I work very selectively with limited number of people on those programs, and which is why I like to do some group programs, and I crunch those 10 months in those few calls. Okay, literally. Fantastic. This is actually a collection of all my coaching programs with multiples of individuals that have created that experience for me, and I have now summed them up in these programs.
How fabulous. How fabulous. Bharti's asking if there's any age limit, and Preeti's asking if the crash course includes all aspects in terms of relationship, money, and body.
So crash course, yes. I will give you a glimpse of, so like we'll do about 15 minutes of body, 15 minutes of relationship, 15 minutes of, what was that? Money, relationship, and money and relationship and body. So we'll do all 3 segments, and I'll keep like about another 15 minutes for, just general questions, discussions, etc. So I'll give you I'll give you a couple of exercises in each area to get you going. And then you can extrapolate it if you're not doing all the 3 calls, and you can, get your creative juices flowing and come up with your own stuff. But the advantage here is implementation. I'll be on your case so that you implement. in that
We need
follow-up. Yeah. So
we need that.
yeah, implementation is where a lot of people fail, because I know wherever I failed is because of lack of implementation and nothing else. It's not that I don't know how to do it. All of you know all these things. There's nothing that you do not know, very honestly. But a program like this enables us to get into the groove of it. And when you are supported by a lot of people, the group energy creates something different. And when you have someone like me who kind of literally says, keeps reminding you that you are greater than what you have decided you are, and I keep encouraging you, and I give you those nudges and the pushes and the love and the care that you require to be able to go through those uncomfortable moments and go past your comfort zones. That support system is what enables you to do it. You can. I'm not saying that you need me. You can do this on your own. But having somebody support you is what very often does the trick. That's what's worked for me. And so I offer these programs. Otherwise, everybody can achieve everything. But if you could on your own, would you be on this call? Would I have been in all those workshops myself if I could do everything on my own? So that's where we come from. It's an invitation. If you would like to up your game, if you'd like to create a greater life, do join me. And even if you don't, I still love you. And I know that you've got it in you. So please trust you, value you, and do what it takes. Be willing to be wrong. You don't have to be right. Be willing to lose people. Be willing to, let go of resentments, judgments, hatred, rage. Love yourself. The universe is at your command. But you've got to be willing to receive. So receive you, sweethearts. That's what I would say.
That's fantastic.
And I look forward to having many of you on that program. I really look forward to it. And it would be my honor. It would be my good fortune to be able to contribute to you. It would really be my good fortune.
Thank you so much, Smriti. That's really, really, it's heartfelt, and it's so clearly heartfelt. I have a question. Oh, okay. Preeti's asking, do you also give some notes when you're giving the exercises?
Absolutely. You get PDFs, you get audio recordings. Thank you for asking that question. It didn't strike me that I should mention it. So thank you, Preeti, for asking that. Yes, you get PDFs. And you get audios of the calls so that you can listen to it again and again. Because believe me, this is not going to change overnight, that you come for the workshop and tomorrow your reality has changed. No. When you will listen to the calls again and again and again, that will contribute to your paradigms shifting, your belief systems shifting. It's taken me years to finally get to even believe that, oh, I am an infinite being. I mean, that choice creates. I said, what choose? You keep telling me choose. What do you mean choose? Of course I'm choosing, but it's not coming. But it took me some time to really understand, what does it really mean to choose? It was so frustrating when somebody say, all it takes is a choice. Come on, would I be in your class if I was not choosing?
Well, that's probably the first right for one of the good right choices. One of the good choices.
Yeah, but it's frustrating sometimes,
Yeah.
So like I am grateful for the people who mentored me, who coached me, and have gotten me to where I am. I do the same for everybody else. And having lived all of this crap just makes it easier. Because when you say to me, no, it's not possible. You only, it's very good to just say, what do you know? I say, yeah, I know. I've been abused. I was at death's door. I had no money. So I know. So that I would like to contribute to you.
Smriti, is there any age limit? Bharti was asking that.
No age limit. In fact, Ruchira, I know we didn't talk about this, but may I offer this to all the people here. If you choose to bring your children who are below 15 years of age, they are most welcome to attend the calls with my compliments.
Wow, that is so fabulous, Smriti.
All right.
That is such a gift.
I would love for them to have this as a gift in their life. And even if they can use 2 or 3 principles from those programs, they have it. They have it made. And I'm just so happy to gift it to all the children who are below 15 years of age. Or chalo, let's say 16 years of age. Chalo, done.
That's beautiful. That is a beautiful gift. I think and especially if I know we have a lot of moms
Yeah.
amongst our listeners today, I'm sure they will see. I'm sure they'll receive this. Open yourself to receiving by receiving this gift.
Please
I
bring
would
your
say.
children. Please bring your children on the call if they would like to. Don't force them, but you could
Yeah.
invite them to it. I'm happy
How
to gift to
wonderful.
them.
Preeti has one more question. She's
Yes.
asking if there's any certificate, and would it be possible for them to? So, is it a certificate? Is there a certificate that also allows them to share the theory with others?
So it's not a certification course. Unfortunately, I am not an institute yet. So it's not really a certification course. It's not, yeah, but you know what? When you will start living those principles, with those exercises, you will become an influencer. And you're most welcome to share some of those tips with your loved ones, your friends, your dear ones. We want people to live as infinite beings on this planet. That's what will change our planet. So I'm happy for you to share a couple of things, but not give the program away. That would be dishonoring of me and the universe. So, but I'm happy for you to, imbibe it and become the leader in your life and the inspiration for everybody around you. So yeah, no certification. I'm sorry about that. I'm not an institute yet. Aiming to be there.
Soon.
Yes.
Smriti Nidhu's sharing that Smriti's workshops are totes worth it, and the amount that happens in the WhatsApp group on a daily basis is
Oh God,
astounding.
it is.
And Sangeet, oh, how lovely, Sangeet. That is such a nice gesture for yourself. Sangeet says, I already gifted myself a crash course for October 10th. That is her birthday.
Oh yay! Happy birthday in advance.
How fabulous, Sangeet. That's a great start. Santini says, thank you for that wonderful, uplifting, super encouraging call. Namrata's shared that is so kind. Children are the future creation. That's really, it's
Absolutely.
fabulous that, Smriti, you've opened this out for women to bring their children to, because starting early in terms of having the right belief system, having the right conditioning
Tell me
is
about it.
so important, so important, because in such a highly competitive world, children actually constantly get told that you're not good enough, you're not doing well enough, you could
Yeah.
do this, you could do that, they get compared to other kids all the time. And it's not the fault of just parents or anything. It's the environment that they're in. It could be
We,
peers, it could be teachers.
we weren't taught these things. You know what, Ruchira, on that note, I must tell you, our daughter is 14 years old. Okay.
Mm.
And I don't have any teenage issues. I have an amazing child. And the way I function as a parent, and I do parenting classes too, the way I function as a parent, thanks to all the learnings that I have imbibed and implemented in my life, the kind of relationship we enjoy is phenomenal. And having come from a very disharmonious family, today I live my dream family, which is harmonious. And another tip, like, through the day, there will be at least 3 or 4 or 5 times we'll tell each other, I love you and I'm so grateful for you. You're amazing. And we mean it. Okay. So we compliment each other. We treasure each other. We nurture each other. We do have our points of differences, but we treasure each other because we support each other to become what we came here to be. Okay. So whatever my husband would like to do, I support him through and through. Whatever I want to do, he supports me through and through. Like recently, I chose that program where I'm getting certified by Mary Morrissey. I had some 30 lakhs to pay as my class fee. And I was like, I was like, okay, I will break this investment and that and that. And it required hours and hours of studying where I can't pay attention to my house. My husband said, what are you thinking? Just go for it. Here you go. Come on. And quick, transfer. And don't worry about the house. You just focus on your studying. So even when I'm studying till 11:30, 12, 1 at night these days, sometimes he peeks in, you're good? Studying? Okay, carry on. And he will support me through and through. So that's the kind of a family we live as. So please support each other as family members to become everything that each and every one of us in the family unit has come here to become. Treasure each other.
Oh, fabulous. Thank you for sharing that, Smriti. That really is wonderful. Is everyone ready to experience the special gift that Smriti has for us? I just want to remind quickly before we get into it, the 24-hour offer are there for both packages. You have package A, which the team's going to share in the group, links to that. So you can, if you want to commit fully to upping your game, take the 3 calls. It's 6 hours of your life. That's it, to find the tools and to see the way that you can change. You can change the things in your life, and to see how the things that you identified at the start of this call, how to make them happen. Yeah. Just imagine that you would, if you had a chance to make something happen for you, would you take it or would you let it go? You can answer that question for me. Okay. Smriti, over to you. Let's take everyone through.
Thank you so much. And thank you, everybody. I would invite you to just close your eyes and take a few deep breaths in and deep breaths out, allowing your body to relax. Breathe in deeply and breathe out deeply. Just check in with your body that you are comfortable. Check your shoulder, check your face, check in with your forehead, check in with your feet, your stomach, your back, your arms. And keep breathing in deeply, breathing out deeply. And today, give yourself the permission to receive the greatness that you are. I invite you to look at all the judgments that you have of you. You do not need to go into them in detail, but get the energy of it. And look at how those judgments make you feel about you. Do they make you feel expanded, happy? Or do they make you feel contracted? And I ask you this question, is that what you truly are? Or is it just a point of view that somebody had of you and threw at you and you bought it and made it your own? So everybody's opinions of you, criticisms of you, judgments of you, all of that you bought and separated you from you. Everywhere you rejected you. Everywhere you made yourself less. Anywhere you let somebody make you less. All of that Get the sense of it and see where do you feel it in your body. And receive this particular frequency that I am sending your way. And allow this frequency to clear, cancel, and dissipate that density, that heaviness. Keep breathing in deeply, breathing out deeply, and allow this energy to be dissipated. All of these points of views that make you feel contracted and make you feel less are a lie. If they were true, you would feel happy. You would feel expansive. Even if it was of a negative nature, but if it was true for you, you would feel light. You would feel, yeah, I know. But if you are feeling contracted and not so good when you think about that judgment, it's because it's not true. Your body does not lie. Your energy does not lie. So today, I invite you to receiving and acknowledging the greatness of you. Greatness is not just about having achieved some rewards and awards and name and fame. Greatness is who you are in totality. Greatness is who you are in every little thing and every big thing. So I'd like you to go back to a time maybe you were a child in school and somebody dropped their tiffin box or forgot their pencil or pen, and they were feeling miserable or helpless in that moment. And you went up to them and shared your tiffin or shared your pencil or shared your notebook. That kindness, that generosity, was that not the greatness of you? And what about that time when somebody was upset? They may have been pulled up by their teacher or their parent, or they may have been snubbed by other children. And you went up and gave that person a hug or just held their hand or gave that person a smile or just shared a chocolate and brought a smile to their lips, their heart. That kindness, that compassion, was that not the greatness of you? What about all the beautiful things that you do for your family, for your friends? Cooking those beautiful meals, decorating that beautiful home, making that home a comfortable, warm place that is nurturing, that is caring for all the family members. You may have done that as your duty, perhaps, but the fact that you can bring that nurturing, caring into people's lives by your gestures of putting that perfect cushion in that perfect place, or making that meal with that perfect level of spice, serving it in that beautiful plate or that favorite glass or the mug, all of that attention to detail, is that not the greatness of you? What about all of those times when you did not have time to look after your own self, take that massage or that manicure or that pedicure? And yet, the moment you got to know that somebody needed you, or somebody was in the hospital, or somebody needed babysitting, you were there. You left everything and you were there for them. That gesture of extending your time and going beyond yourself, was that not the greatness of you? And what about all those times when you went shopping, from store to store you went hunting, spending lots of time just to find that perfect gift for that someone that you love? That thoughtfulness, that caring, that desire to bring the utmost joy to that person's life, was that not the greatness of you? You are an amazing, beautiful being. No matter what you have been told, and no matter how you have been treated, this is you. The nurturing, the caring, the kind being, the generosity that you truly are. And what about all those times when you picked up a fight with someone to defend your best friend or your sibling or your parent? You were willing to be nasty and mean and fight and do what you had to just to protect your loved one. You may not have done that for yourself, but you did it for your loved ones. That ferocity, that protectiveness, is that not the greatness of you? For all the times you stood up for what was right, for all the times that you stood up for justice, that is the greatness of you. And then there were those times when you were afraid and everybody around you was afraid because of something that was going on. And yet you went past that fear and you shared words of encouragement. You hugged, you patted the shoulder, you went past your fears. You brought forth that courage in that person with your words. That, going past your own so-called fears and insecurities and worries, and bringing forth that courage just so that you can encourage another. That is the greatness of you. All the times you offered your shoulder for someone to lean on, cry on. That is the greatness of you. You learned to write, read, speak. You acquired many skills, talents. You enhanced your capacities. And you created your life. You created many things that comprise your life. Would any of that have been possible if you were not good enough? So today I invite you to see how beautiful you are, how talented you are, how capable you are. I invite you to acknowledge how many lives you have affected with those beautiful hugs, smiles, acts of care, acts of love. All the lives you have nurtured, all the situations that you have transformed already. You are a gift. You are a contribution to so many. Not for one moment allow anyone to tell you something different. Know that with the good, with the bad, with the beautiful, with the ugly, you are an infinite being who is beautiful. And yes, there is the dark within us, and there is also the light within us. So all of it, the good, the bad, the beautiful, the ugly, the dark, the light, all of it is what makes you you. And none of it is wrong and none of it is right. You came here to thrive. You came here to grow. You came here to be happy. It is your desires. It is all those things that you long for. It is precisely that which is an expression of you knowing that it is possible. If it was not possible, you would not desire it. So I acknowledge the knowing being that you are, the infinite being that you are, beneath all those so-called limitations, who knows everything, who knows how to create a life that is beautiful. And I invite you to acknowledge the infinite being that you are, who knows how to create your life. I invite you to acknowledge you as that infinite being that you are, who can be everything that is required to be, to create what it is that you desire. If you were put in a situation where the only way to save a little child from being attacked was to hit that other person or harm that other person or to perhaps even kill that other person, you would choose to do that and be that at that moment. Because that is what was the requirement and the need of that moment. And you would bring forth that guts, those guts, that courage, that strength that you would require to save that child. There is nothing that you cannot be. You can be the ferocity, and you can be the Kali, and you can be that gentleness and the kindness. It is your impatience that has made you create so much. And it is your patience that has allowed you to not give up. Neither is right and neither is wrong. So everywhere you have been willing to be whatever is required for you to be, to create something greater, that is the greatness of you. And as you will extrapolate this, you will see how beautiful you are, how amazing you are. And once you see that, it will not matter whether anybody else acknowledges it or not. As you will begin to be this greatness with consciousness, everybody will see it by default. So my dear beautiful you, each day, remember this truth of you. Remember the kindness, the courage, the beauty that you are. Remember how many smiles have you put in people's hearts. Remember how much light have you brought into so many people's lives with your beautiful gestures. Remember what a beautiful friend you are. Remember what an amazing parent you are. Remember how wonderful you are as a sibling. And so what if there were differences, and so what if there were fights? But the core of you never changed. At the core of you, you are all of that kindness, that smile, that courage. Each day as you walk, walk with gratitude for you. And yes, there may have been nasty things and nasty incidents and nasty people, but know that you played a role in creating all of your life, the good, the bad, the beautiful, the ugly. And step into that power of you. You are the creator. You are the most powerful creator of your own life. Claim that power and live each day with pride, because it was all of those things that became the stepping stone for you to get to where you are today. This today, where you know something greater is possible for you, and you are choosing it. So none of your past is a wrongness. It is just a stepping stone. A series of stepping stones that have created your today. And where would you like to go from here? Choose. Choose, my dear, beautiful you, for you are the creator of your life. And it is your choice that will create your future. So take each step with gratitude for you. Take each step knowing that you are an infinite being and you are the all-powerful creator. Take each step knowing that you are an expression of that infinite intelligence that has created this entire universe. And that spirit flows through you. It is for you to mold that spirit into the shape of your life that you desire. So may each thought, may each word, may each action that you take be steeped with this knowingness of this spirit, this infinite power. I wish you joy. I wish you love. I wish you laughter. I wish you courage. I wish you strength to go through each and every step of your life, knowing that you are an infinite being. You are infinite intelligence. You are infinite power. Knowing that the universe always has your back and that there is nothing that you cannot have as your life. God bless and thank you. You may open your eyes now. Take your time and bring yourself back to the space, to the room that you are in now. I thank you, and I'm super grateful for these beautiful moments with you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Smriti. That was beautiful. That was really, really beautiful. I'd love to.
Ruchira, could we send this out also as a clipping to everybody? Would it be possible? Can we gift it?
Yeah, of course, absolutely. It'll be there in the call replay email. It'll be a separate clip as well as within the whole call. So everyone can hear it again as well. It's a beautiful gift. Thank you so much, Smriti. Lots of gratitude.
Thank you for receiving. Thank you for receiving.
So lovely. Thank you.
Please take advantage of it. A lot of people have benefited from it.
Smriti, I have a bunch of comments that people are writing in. Dipali says, thank you so much that you've encouraged us to enter deeper into ourselves, identify ourselves as wonderful people. Dolly says, I'm feeling as if Smriti has literally entered my mind and putting into words all that I've gone through in my life. How lovely, Dolly.
Thank you so much.
Sangeet says, wow, that was so good. Wonder if I even need that crash course now.
What if I told you that this is like just a tiny bit? Just a tiny bit. What more could become possible if you chose it all?
Preeti says, you've raised our frequency and feeling so great. She has some heaviness in her crown, but she thanks you for your gift.
You're so welcome, and just keep yourself hydrated and just be in allowance of that heaviness, Preeti. There's like a lot of stuff coming up. Don't resist, just release. Very often things come up and just to be released, and they may feel heavy for a little while, but that's completely all right. Just be in allowance of it. Just hydrate yourself. Drink some herbal tea if you like, but just be kind to you. Don't judge it, and don't solidify it by judging it.
Sonal says, gratitude for this beautiful meditation. I really felt I did what you said. Thanks. I'm feeling happy and also complimenting myself. Sonal,
Yay!
so just imagine if you joined Smriti's call, what you would experience. What would be the experience like? Whether it's the crash course call that's only at 1500 today, or whether it's the 3 call package at 12390. Just imagine what you would experience. Thank you so much. So we'll close for today. You can chat with Smriti on the Telegram group. You can continue to speak with her. You can check with her if you have any further questions regarding her program. And of course, consult her if you have something particularly in mind and you want to find out whether the program will work for you or not. Talk to her. Although today, I think 3 huge areas, Smriti: relationships, money, body, 3 very intricately linked areas are going to be addressed on that on those 3 calls. And of course, you're also going to touch upon them in the crash course. The crash course is a great way. It's at only 1500 rupees. So it's a fantastic way to get into and get a glimpse of an experience of Smriti's work. Thank you so much, Smriti. We'll close for today. Do you have a few more words to leave them with?
Go have fun, enjoy your life. If you're not having fun doing something, you're off the track. Okay? And that will show up in your relationships, in your money, in your health. So stay on track, do everything that makes you light, expansive. That's ease, that's joy. That's when you're on track. Anything that is heavy, you're not on track.
That's fantastic. That is actually very spot on and very fantastic. Thank you so much, Smriti. And
thank you for having me. Thank you, everybody, for receiving the meditation. And thank you for your time and for being on this call. I am so grateful. And a big thank you to you, Ruchira, and Nidhu, and Amrish, and the entire team that makes this Tele Summit possible. You guys are amazing, and you are such a blessing and such a gift.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye, everyone, and we'll meet again very soon on Telegram. Share more dreams.
Bye, everybody.
Continue to dream and continue to work at realizing them. Thank you so much. Thanks. Bye-bye.
God bless. Bye-bye.